Well, hello, and good morning. I'm morning here in Brisbane, Australia. It's about 3 p.m. In 4 p.m. On the east coast of the USA there, and we're about 1 p.m. over on the west coast. So, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. I'm Wendy Miller. I'm high performance coach and profit time implementation specialist here at Profitable Partners. And I'm excited that today we get to share the next 45 to 60 minutes together on the popular topic of creating capacity. Now, before we get too far in, I just need to know if you can help me out. If you can help me out, let me know that you can hear me, that you can see me, you've got my slides there, or even just quite simply, let me know where you're listening in from today. So we've got the chat function there. I can see it working. Hello, I've got a fan base. All right, we've got Keith, we've got Richard, we've got Abraham. Hello, Orlando, Florida. Hello, Brian. So nice to see you here. Hello from Sweden. Now, I have visited Sweden and done some work over there. That was a great visit. In fact, I've been to Sweden twice now. Even had the pleasure of skiing some ski fields in Are. Austin, Texas, Melbourne, Australia. Hello. It's very early. Sarah from Edmonton in Alberta was in Canada in fact, September last year. Yeah, 4 a.m. Mullies. Lovely to have you here from Perth, Australia. Giorgio from Italy. Jonathan from Houston. Okay, cool. This sounds like you can hear me, see me, and you've got my slides there. So I will be using slides today to help me walk through these steps. I did pop a little note in the chat box earlier to say welcome and to say you might want a notepad and pen handy. Now, we will be giving you the recording and, of course, the slides, so don't feel like you're going to miss out on anything. And we are going to share a lot of information with you. So be ready, be alert, and all of you signed up to this topic for a reason. There's obviously something going on in your business, you're needing some help with something. So just give yourself these 45 minutes to an hour, take good notes, and really have a think about what changes you can implement as a result of today. After all, this is otherwise just time spent, more talking, more thinking. And really, our number one objective is to help you get into action. And so, now that I know everything's working, throughout today, in the presentation, of course, we're going to be talking about the hot topic of creating capacity. But I'm also going to introduce you to how we help accounting firm owners improve their overall business operations and results. And for firms who are ready for help, maybe you're thinking, I really need some help here, and you want to learn more. I'll also extend an invitation for us to meet and talk about what that might look like for you as well. So, while we're on that topic of what we do and how we help accounting firm owners, I would love to introduce you quickly to our Profit Time program. And we have delivered this to hundreds of accounting firms across the globe. Everything we do here is to create more meaning, more freedom, and lifestyle for you. Now, all of these methods drive to increasing the profitability of your business and reducing the time spent in the business. And there are three main stages of the work that we do together. And we first work with what you've got. We work with what you've got to help it be better, and we call that our fix phase. And that's essentially the foundations. And when we've got those strong and updated, we help you move into the minimize area. And that's essentially where we are creating as much efficiency as possible and therefore generating capacity in your business. And when we've met the objectives there, we've got capacity and we know what we're doing here, then we're moving into scale. And this is essentially where all that future growth happens, where you see that exponential curve take place in your business. But really importantly, all three of those stages of work with you are underpinned by our leadership strategies. And that's essentially how we successfully engage with our team, how we continue to lead that business forward and up, continuing to grow. So This very important work that we do helps the owners of accounting firms to get out of the day to day and really lead the business forward to achieve desired goals. Those goals are very personal and individual. Often we meet practice owners who feel like they're just absolutely hitting that glass ceiling. They're exploring the next stage in their journey, hiring, growing, and it sees them transition from being that practitioner in the business to actually running the business like a business. And then there's also the business owner who we find has reached a point where they can see a time in the future where there simply just needs to be a new way that does not rely on them to be present both in the business and running it. And we see them aspiring to what we call the investor level. And that investor level essentially says, I own a business that does not rely on me. Now, of course, you might have individual goals to stay in your business, to continue working in the thing that lights you up the most, and that's okay. But what we do is we help accounting firm owners improve their profits, decrease hours, and lead their business in a new way. So while you've got that chat box open, and I know you know all how to use it now, why don't you share with me where you think you are now, if you think you're a practice owner and a business owner, and which one you would like to be working in? Would you like to be that business owner? Would you like to be that investor level? So let me know where you are now and where you want to go. That's excellent. Yes, absolutely. Business owner, Anthony. We definitely want more people being able to have their businesses running. Yeah, good one. So 10-year goal, Crystal. Good. Yes, nice. Awesome, Jake. Good. Yeah, good, Harley. And it can be, I often get, when I speak with prospects on calls, when we're getting to know each other, I often get told it's lonely, lonely on my own. Am I the only one going through this? And the answer is no. No, you're not. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Helen. Good. Good. All right. So earlier this year, what prompted this webinar and why I thought, hey, I want to be out here talking to you more often. And what prompted this was earlier this year, we released our fourth accountants benchmark report. And if you don't have your copy, my team yesterday, they were so excited about this webinar and they said to me, Wendy, if anybody wants a copy of the benchmark report and they don't have it yet, just ask them to comment benchmark in the chat there and they'll run a transcript report after this webinar and they will send you a copy of that benchmark report. It's completely complimentary. So if you want a copy, you don't have one, just write benchmark, they'll pick that up. Now, this benchmark report revealed very similar trends to 2024, which in itself was actually really interesting for us. Also made our work a little bit easier for you. But what it also highlighted, and to me, when I was going through the report, was that the leading key issues and the key opportunities, as shared by you, as voted by all of you, actually have a really super interesting correlation. And I'll show you this here. So the key issues, if we take a look at the top four there, 70% of firms said efficiency was their biggest issue, followed by finding people in the number 3 spot and partner worked hours in the number 4th spot. They were really closely related or rated. And they're all about needing capacity, right? We can't get enough people. Why are we looking for more people? Because we need more capacity. Partner worked hours. I don't want to work this hard. Why are you working this hard? Maybe because you can't delegate and push down the work. You need more hours. So it's all about capacity, right? The opportunities in the report is all also around capacity and creating efficiency. It's all closely linked. And what we know, when we become more efficient, we create more capacity. And so let's take a look here. Biggest issue or biggest opportunities rather are to improve workflow, develop the team, and make better use of technology. Those three things there. Now, of course, I'm bypassing marketing. That's a whole separate topic on its own. But those three things there, when we do them well, we will naturally create more capacity in the organization. And that is to say, let's get better with what we've got. So here we are today in this space with you all, and I'm so thrilled that you're all here to talk more about the important topic of creating capacity. So broadly speaking, how do we create more? And it's really simple. Number one, we buy more. We hire more people, which clearly we're struggling to do more and more, finding the right people, people that want to work with us. We could buy more hours somehow, and we could also look at outsourced solutions. So all of it is about buying it, buying more capacity. We could create it. And through the work that we do with you, it's all about getting better with what you've got. That is to say, more streamlined systems, more training, more development, more processes that make sense for you. And there is a third addition here. We can look at other strategies in your business, things like what we say no to, where we might remove or reduce something, or even looking at streamlining and automation. But all of those things still fall under the concept or the idea of getting more efficient. And that's essentially what this is. We know that efficiency is one of the biggest challenges. And we also know from experience that if you want to change anything, you're going to need a clear and structured plan to do exactly that. What I'm going to share with you today will be the ideas and considerations that you'll need as you create your very own efficiency plan. And that's a big umbrella, right? And so I do encourage you to break it down into key areas, but you will need a plan. And something I want you to remember as we move through the information, because we will be moving relatively quickly and there is a lot, but I want you to remember this. If you don't rise to the level of your goals, you will fall to the level of your systems. And read that again. The benchmark report that many of you have asked for a copy of, it's all about standards. It's about proven outcomes that exists for you if you're willing and prepared to put the effort into doing something different. And doing something different will help you to achieve something different than what you have right now, right? So let's get into some of these ideas. Get your notepad and pen ready, or maybe you've got the ability to take notes. Maybe you'll just review the recording, whatever works for you. But here are some of those ideas that we've put together for you today. So the first big idea in becoming more efficient is to fix the information flow. And how might we do that? One of the first ideas is to consider getting ahead of the game and schedule all of your known work for your known entities. Now, if you're keeping timesheets, you should know how long the job took you last year, which is going to give you a baseline hours budget. Now, we, of course, want you year on year improving the hours or the time it takes to perform the same job as what we did last year, because hello, efficiency, right? But what this will give you is a first-hand look at exactly how many hours we need to deliver on the work, and then match the available capacity of the team to those hours. That'll give us first and foremost a proactive view of just exactly how much work we need to get through and how can we avoid burnout, overtime, that sort of thing for the existing team in terms of taking good care of them as well in what can otherwise be our busy seasons and, just quite simply when there's a whole lot of overload and overwhelm. Now, another idea here is that we could educate the client. Take a proactive approach with your client and invite them to give you their work in a desired period, a desired date for a planned and scheduled delivery time. When we educate the client on how we can best serve them, they have an opportunity to meet you there and to also honor your team's availability rather than being reactive to the information flow, to jobs coming in, to getting overwhelmed at certain points. We're more in control and being more active and essentially stemming the flow, if you like. Now, managing the team's capacity and availability can be supported by administration, and particularly educating our clients and thinking about scheduling can all be managed by administrative follow-ups. Now, we do promote a key role in our organizational structure called the client concierge or client excellence coordinator. And the primary objectives of that role are to, one, free up the accountants of administrative time, which will equate to more capacity, and also to facilitate the client experience, to make it a great one. And some of this facilitation can be managed by and with something called a pre-work checklist or a tailored information checklist from that client. Now, you could be creating these if you don't have them in your organization, and I do think some of the softwares create them for you. But if you don't have them, you could be creating these in one of two ways. Certainly in the quieter seasons, you could generate a list of clients and have your team work through that list and essentially create a tailored, individual, personalized checklist for the information you require for that next financial year. Alternatively, consider implementing this idea systematically by adding it as an extra step in your current job flow completion. So it's an idea to help you gather as much of the information that you need for that client work as soon as possible in the job. And other ideas here to help you get your workflow process actually flow is the use of automated reminders, prompts, triggers. These can all be coming from certain softwares. It can be both internal for your team's ongoing team work management, and it can also be external for your clients, things like reminders and letting them know where their job is at in the system. And of course, backing that up is the idea of systemization. What are we adding into our processes and our flow that just happens as second nature now? It just happens because of the systems, the processes we've built, the automations in our technology, and so on. So that's the first big one. The second idea is all around technology friction. And we know there's a lot of this. And so for more reasons than just creating efficiency, we should be auditing our tech stack at least annually. Does what we have really work for us? Is it seamless? Does it integrate well with other tools? Does it provide the reports that we require? The amount of times I meet with a new prospect and they say to me, oh, I'm having trouble running that report, or I've been on to my account manager to help me with that. You need to know your numbers and you need to be able to get these reports quickly and easily. So we do need to spend the time setting up these technologies or these systems so that they can work for us effectively. Does the tech that we currently have work for us? Does it give us quality visibility? Is it user friendly? And while you're there, what have we got duplicated? I oftentimes hear that our timesheeting software doesn't talk perfectly to our time and billing, and nor does that talk to our practice management, and we're duplicating steps. Whenever there's an update or we need to get information from one platform to another, it's taking a lot of time. And I really encourage you to treat this as a proper project so that you can gain efficiency through something that is built, that is there to help you do things faster. Also consider about investing in integrations that make sense. It can be helpful to map out the experience or outcomes that you're looking for in your flow, and also looking to make sure that the tech meets you with the what's ideal for your client experience. We need that technology to match the internal team's processes so that we can get this work out. And also the use of automations. A lot of whether they be third party or whether they be built into the system, they are available to us to make this work easier for us. And really, with technology, one of the most important things that we find often gets missed is the training of your team. And not just training them in how to use it, but ensuring that everyone in the organization is using the software in one way. Using it because we have a clear objective, because we're looking to, at any given time, anybody can run the same report and get the same results, and we all know what it means and how it's working for us. We heard just yesterday on one of our coaching calls from one of the member firms the absolute importance of having an implementation or a project leader for new technology, changeovers, switch ups. And even more importantly than that is that the team are properly educated and trained in using that technology effectively and efficiently. And in that particular conversation, what we heard was that it was a good 3-month process to switch over the main operating system. So, of course, there was research and development on the front end by that project manager and leader. A decision was made, a rollout plan was produced, and then that person led the way with the implementation, the ongoing training and development. And it was about a 3-month process, but full focus. And it was an entire team responsibility. And this is a big one. Certainly one not to be taken lightly, but also one that you might say, we don't have time for that this year, but it is costing you time. And that's your efficiency. Speaking of training, I want to talk about training with intention. The highest performing firms that we work with have documented steps. They have standard operating procedures, videos, playbooks, all stored in training libraries. These training libraries are backed by solid onboarding procedures for new team members and also ongoing developmental career programs as well. They also use a 3-stage shadow training process, which essentially is to say, let me show you how we do it here. Now, of course, we've still got our videos and our standard operating procedures, but let me work with you. Let me show you how we do it here. Second stage, let's do it together. Let's make sure that the procedures in the system match the steps that we're going to take, and we're both here to bounce off each other and do it together. And the third stage of that shadow is you have a go, you do it, and I'll be right here beside you as you walk through it. And we keep on that third stage until that person is autonomous and able to move forward on their own with confidence in those processes. Remote teams. There is nothing stopping you from having Zoom or Teams open and doing this side by side, whether that be for an hour a day, whether it be for a couple of hours, whatever that looks like for you. But we can implement this 3-stage training shadow for the benefit of the team. Our high-performing teams also have strong feedback loops or communication opportunities in their organization. Things like achievement plans that are developed quarterly, ongoing, regular and consistent weekly team meetings, daily huddles, one-to-ones. They're also very clear on their direct lines of contact and buddy systems. Again, particularly with remote teams, offshore, onshore, whatever that might look like, it's really important that we maintain a cohesiveness, that we maintain that true team collaborative experience. And speaking about collaboration, it's important to consider that as one of the great steps in your organization. What we do is help accounting firms to clearly articulate a vision, to define values, and play out mission every single day. And we don't do that as alone, as an individual. There's no one person in the entire organization that stands alone to make this successful. It's your entire team. And so it's critical, absolutely critical, to not only enlist the right team, but to envision with them, empower them, and encourage them to help us carry the work of our vision. Because an engaged team is an efficient team. So, talking about engaged teams, we want to make sure that we have the right people for the right jobs. And sometimes it's not quite working out for both the team member and maybe for us as the business owner. And some methods that you might want to consider when you're looking to create capacity is a well-documented organizational structure. It's so simple. And many of you already have this, but many don't, because we've been so busy growing this business to where it is that we've forgotten some of these fundamentals or foundations of this business operation. The documented organizational structure is about who reports to who is sitting in what team, what is that team responsible for. It is about absolute clarity through the visual of the structure, plus and including the individual position descriptions, supported by KPIs. It's also important to consider in each of those roles and departments and in the organizational structure, how we're delivering on the work. Are we pushing lower value tasks down the line to appropriate people or pushing out to automation? And it is very common for individuals to want to hold on to work just because it's quicker or easier. But we're not looking for easy. We're looking for optimal. And sometimes to achieve optimal, yes, it's going to take a little bit of heavy lifting on the front end to achieve a desired result on the back end. So next, supporting that theory is to be really objective and ask yourself, am I performing in my highest dollar earning activity right now? There are always going to be tasks that someone else is actually more capable of performing on your behalf. It will free you up to focus on your strengths, your passions, your zone of genius, which will all equate to you performing in your highest dollar earning activity. Talking about the right people, in one of the earlier slides, I mentioned the client concierge or the client excellence coordinator. And this is an idea that administrative people should be performing the administrative functions. Let them. That is their strength. That is their specialty. In fact, in a survey of accounting firms that we performed, we were able to identify 31 administrative tasks that were currently being performed by your fee earners. Just stop it. Hand it over. And to do that, you've got to have your good systems and your good information flow, right? And one of my favorite pieces here, in order to get more efficiency, to have more capacity, is to absolutely have a winning attitude. To have a winning team is one of my favorite cultural values. A team of individuals with winning attitudes, a desire to win, an ability to see the big picture and go for it. People who are empowered, who are stepping up, who are leading, who are owning their own roles. They're being responsible for expectations and outcomes and contributing to the whole firm vision. We once talked with one of our highly successful members, Shannon, and she was able to eliminate herself from her business. And when we asked her about that and how she was able to foster a team who were happy to run her business on her behalf, she said in her experience, it all came down to their attitudes. They all quite simply had the right attitude. And she said, when you've got a bad egg, I just want to check in. I've been doing a lot of rambling. Is this good stuff? Is this helpful? Send me, a message, a lifeline in the chat. Let me know, should we keep going with these ideas? Okay, good. Excellent. Great. Wonderful. Okay, good. You're all still awake, which is good news. So am I. Really good. All right, good. Thank you. All right, well, let's keep going, team. Coming in at number 5 is the idea around eliminating job bounce. What's the bounce? What is bounce? It's the pick up and put down. It's the constant interruptions. And I want to encourage you to get more assertive and firstly consider the idea of professional gatekeeping. There is absolutely zero expectation that you be available to all people at all times. Just stop. Empower your amazing director of first impressions and your concierge team to handle all inquiries professionally, rapidly, and with a surety that they'll follow through. They are no longer going to just patch any old call through to you. They're going to essentially traffic control, and they will control as much as possible. That means no more phone tag, no more calling back, not reaching someone. It's a scheduled phone meeting call back. Your administrators can provide more assistance. They can ask the question. They can simply say, hey, Wendy's not available right now, but perhaps there's something I can help you with, or someone else in the office. 9 times out of 10, the client will respond and they will be able to help. This idea of professional gatekeeping is not about gatekeeping. We were taught, do not block any calls. I want to be available to our clients. It's not about that. It is about elevating you more and your accountants and your importance through the use of careful and precise language. It's about saying we're here to help you, but what we really want to do is give you our dedicated time and focus and not take someone away from another very important client that we're currently working on. That's what that really is to say. Next up, as an idea, is proactive engagements. So what is this? Proactive engagements is really about offering delivery deadlines and clarifying when you may need to reach the client for more information. It's essentially putting them on notice. It's saying, hey, client, we're getting started on your work this week. And if we reach a point in your job where we do need to ask for more information, when is the best time for us to contact you? What is the best way for us to contact you? And will you be able to get that information to us quickly? That's a proactive engagement. It's putting the client on notice. So it allows your team to move quickly and easily through that job prep when we do have questions. It also falls into the idea of scheduling the workflow and requesting all of the information by a certain date. And when we're doing that, we're proactively promoting to the client that we want to meet promised deadlines for them, for their benefit, and of course, for yours. We would like the client to feel like they are the only client in the world, but we also need to educate them gently and professionally that there are also many, many other clients that we need to prioritize and work through as well. And when we're talking about scheduling and delivery dates and deadlines and getting through the work as quickly as possible, I highly recommend the idea of visual tracking. How often do we miss things? Jobs maybe fall through the cracks or get overlooked, particularly when we're just relying on individual people or individual notes systems or some basic job flows. And what's been really effective is consider a central location for visibility. Get some dashboards created if your software doesn't have the ability to do that. How about a daily report that's run and spoken about in our daily huddle or on Workflow Wednesday? What about the idea of whiteboards if we are an all-in-office organization? Even gamification through your software. Like, what can we do to get more visual tracking on the work that we have? And by the way, be really careful that this isn't about the entire team seeing the work pile up ahead of us or behind us. It's actually about what's in progress. The thing that really matters right now, what's going out this week? How are we tracking forward? What are we celebrating? It's actually really beneficial for the relevance, like for the stuff we're working on right now. And it helps to play into that winning team attitude. And that's super important. Next, to that end, when our firms that we work with have really nailed the workflow process, they're aiming to have just 3 open jobs per accountant at any given time. And when I say that to people at first, they feel alarmed and they're like, what do you mean only 3 open jobs? 3 open jobs. Any other job is either in the system ready to begin at its allocated scheduled date, or it's going out for sign off, or it's been completed. But the accountant has just 3 open jobs. And people say to me, well, how do you get to that? Like, we've got so much work. How do you get to that? Well, as I've mentioned through some of the key ideas here today, first and foremost, we make sure we've collected all information before we've started the job. We have proactively engaged the client on a timeline with a promised delivery date. And we've put that client on notice that we might be calling for additional information. When we can move that quickly through a job, it allows us to focus just on 3 at any given time. It also means we're going to be focused on pushing those jobs out before starting others. And when you think about that, I've been told, oh, that feels a whole lot better. That feels a lot lighter than looking at an ever-growing and overwhelming list. And not only that, when we're also being proactive with our clients, there's no more constant phone calls. I dropped my work off. I haven't heard from you. Where is it? When can I expect it? Because you are in front of it. And that's protecting your team. That's valuing your team. That's showing that we're leading our workflow process, not the client leading us. Another key idea for eliminating job bounce is actually to have the daily huddle. And I mentioned it earlier in some feedback and communication loops. And the daily huddle, if you're not familiar with it, is quite simply, it's a quick, energizing, stand-up touch point meeting with the team. Everybody's standing, everybody's prepared for it, and it's very quick. And it's a whip around the room. If you are remote, you will need to whip around the Zoom room. And it's essentially to ask 3 key questions, just 3. How are we doing? What are we working on today? What are you working on that's most important to deliver? And where are you stuck? We don't discuss the stuck at that meeting. It just highlights, hey, I'm stuck in the process, and can I see you after this meeting, to the person of relevance? And that's it. Those 5 things there and more will help you eliminate job bounce, will help you with that pick up, put down, and will help you to create more efficiency, which will give you more capacity. Creating capacity isn't magic. It is about management. And every good management starts with a plan. You need a plan and a process to follow in order to be super effective. And we have a 5-stage workflow process that we use to help our firms create the kind of efficiency that you're looking for, to streamline their systems, to absolutely delight and properly engage with their clients. And it creates a wonderful platform for client retention, for not missing anything, including training opportunities that stem from jobs that we produce and new things that we learn. Captures everything. The 5 stages is then broken into 25 steps. Here it is, fully detailed by stage, by step, and by the best person for the role. One of the things that I want to highlight here is when we talk about the best people for the role, I've spoken a couple of times now about the client concierge or the client excellence coordinator. And you'll notice here that 17 of the 25 workflow steps are all owned by that client concierge. It is an administrative function. It will free up time for your fee earning team and automatically give you back more capacity in those billable hours. And this workflow process is just one. It's a big one, but it's just one of the amazing methodologies that we help accounting firm owners and their teams implement through the Profit Time program. And remember earlier I spoke about getting better with what you've got, which will then enable you to move forward and minimize all unnecessary time takers and wasters, which will create capacity in your organization. And to give you some idea of the results that firms achieve when working with us, just earlier, we actually compiled all the data that we had on our amazing member firms that we have worked with since 2019, and the results blew us away and were absolutely heartwarming. And I want to share them with you. So when firms work with us, you can see here the annual revenue increase in year one alone, on average, is 23%. In year two, 34%, and you can see it there, year three, 50% revenue increase. And most firms work with us for about 3 years. Some certainly stay on well beyond that as they continue to take value, apply themselves, and continue working towards their goals, and that's totally okay. But you can expect, if you really want to work on your business and get it to where you want it to be now, it's about a 3-year journey. And we've seen it, and we've seen the common pitfalls and the common journeys, and we're here every step along the way to keep you engaged, to hold you accountable, to keep you motivated. Now, profit. I want to talk about profit because that is a very big piece, right? When working on all of our methodologies, profit will follow. And notice in particular the massive jump to 111% improvement in year three. It actually has a direct link to this next slide that I want to show you. And this direct link is that what we also identified, and this is it's just fun, I'm just sharing it with you. Maybe it's a bit geeky, but what we noticed is you can see the massive decrease in partner hours over the years. But in year three, partner time increases again. And we took a look at this and we were like, profit's good, revenue's good, but partners got busy again. What happened? And when we took a closer look into it, what we realized is things were going well. We took the foot off the gas. We stopped being so focused and disciplined, and partners found themselves working on new initiatives, speaking to more clients, developing new projects. So their time went back into the business a little bit. But not before long, they realize, hey, I'm a little bit busy. I'm doing a little bit more than I actually set out to do. And so they pull that back, and you can see that decline in partner hours again. So it's really interesting. But if you're a partner and you like working, like, great, no problem. Ultimately, we just want to help you achieve more money, more time, more freedom, and you can design the goals your way. This is your business by your design, and this is also your life by design. But what we have is the methodologies, the coaching, and the experience to actually help you stay the course and achieve the results. We're so super proud of our coached member firms, the hard work that they apply, the effort, their dedication to their goals. We love that they're raving fans, and most importantly, they're getting results. And we're super, super grateful to be able to do this work. So on the topic of doing this work, I'd love for you to share actually in the chat box. If you're still here, you're still with me, I'd love for you to share what's your biggest takeaway from today. Let us know what has helped you or what you'll be implementing. I would love to know. I've spent 45 minutes with you so far today. Do let me know what has helped you, what your biggest takeaway is. And if you're ready to profit more and work less in your business, let's explore your goals. Let's see what they are and see how we can help you. We do work with firms who are more than $1 million in revenue now, with no more than 5 partners. So just consider that if you're thinking, hey, I'd like to have a chat. And if it's you, and if you're excited and you're ready to step in and step up to goals and objectives that you have, let us help. Let's see if we can help. Just one call and we'll know. Let's take a look at some of the, please keep them coming. What's your biggest takeaway from today? Let's have a look. Yes, implementing the concierge, updating the workflow process is a big portion of it. Having the administrative function has been so enlightening. Yeah, great, Crystal. Thank you. Seeing the 5-year time frame presented in a meaningful way. Yeah, we honestly, we should have done it sooner. But when we actually analyzed actual evidence, reported results, it meant a lot to us as well. Yeah. Yes, evaluating the software stack. I know, right? And how often do we buy this tool and that tool, and we keep adding tools to our stack, and before we know it, we've just got duplications. Yes, streamline workflow, moving from 3 to 4 softwares into one. I know. You know what? Back in the day, because I grew up in accounting firms, back in the day before we had online cloud solutions, there was one software platform in Australia that I feel like nailed it. It had everything. It had your tax software, your CRM, your corporate stuff, everything you needed all in one place. It all spoke to each other. It had amazing reporting facility. And then the introduction of the cloud happened. And sadly, what I have observed, both really across the globe, is that there still is not one software solution for accountants that absolutely nails it. So I definitely, hey, there's a business opportunity there, but I definitely feel your pain. Yes, customized documents needed and a checklist for next year. Such a game changer, absolute game changer. All right, cool. I'm glad you got value. I'm glad you learned things today. I'm glad that this 45 minutes together was valuable for you. And so here on the screen is my QR code. If you would like to book a meeting to have a chat with me, if you're more than $1 million in revenue and you're looking to implement some of these strategies and you're wanting some help with that, let's have a chat. You can book a time. You can find my calendar and book the best time. It is really great to see these comments rolling in. I'm going to check them all out after the webinar. Thank you. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Awesome. Team, I hope to do more of these, particularly based on the feedback and what you take away from this. So I appreciate you playing along in the chat there. And don't hesitate, stay close to your goals, know your objectives. Check out our website for more information if you're looking for more guidance or some more resources. And what I hope for you is that you're able to create an efficiency plan, you're able to chip away at it, and you're able to see some real results in your business. So if we can help you with that, great. I look forward to meeting with you. If you can do it on your own, which you absolutely can, also all the best to you. And look forward to meeting you, hearing your results, and potentially seeing you again on the next webinar. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.